Chapter 350. Dog Guts Goo. Translator. Chibi General Editor. Chibi General. The fog ahead was thick. Fang Yuan was walking in the fog. Beside him there was a large dog group. 11 hedge dogs, 132 lightning symbol dogs, 17 chrysanthemum Akita dogs. Other than that, there was 100 Beast King, big lightning symbol dog. Restricted by the heavenly power, the dog group followed Fang Yuan silently, quiet and obedient, not making a sound. In the world of the fog, all was silent. It was so silent that Fang Yuan heard his own breathing. Although he had endured 20 rounds, and the dogs in his hand had reached the highest so far, Fang Yuan was not optimistic. In this Three Kings inheritance, every 10 rounds, the difficulty would rise by many times. Although I have more than 100 dogs now, to survive the next 10 rounds and get to the 30th round on my first attempt, it will not be easy. 30 rounds, that was Fang Yuan's goal for his first attempt in King Quan inheritance. In his previous life, the Three Kings inheritance was only completely wrung dry after many years. Fang Yuan would have to spend quite a bit of time on Sansha Mountain. It was not realistic to attempt to get the inheritance in one go. Three Kings inheritance, all three were tough. Even if Fang Yuan had 100 Beast King and over 100 dogs, he could only stabilize his current position. In the future rounds, if he got careless in any of them, he might lose everything, losing the dogs that he had painstakingly subdued, and even his life. A demonic inheritance was this cruel. This King Quan inheritance, the deeper we go, the more advantageous it is for an enslavement path Goo Master. I walked on the enslavement path before in my previous life, but this time, I am a strength path Goo Master. After experiencing that dangerous battle, Fang Yuan's head was still dizzy. Using his mental energy so intensely, spending all his energy to control the dog groups to battle, this was the backlash. But if it was an enslavement path Goo Master who has a strong soul, such symptoms would be very small. Goo Masters on the enslavement path enslave beasts or worms. They have to manipulate large numbers of worms or beasts at the same time. It used up a lot of their mental energy. Thus, enslavement path Goo Masters often used a special set of goo worms to train and increase the quality of their own soul. In the King Quan's inheritance, the heavenly power did not restrict the soul enhancements of Goo Masters at all. Thus, enslavement path. Goo Masters had a huge advantage in King Quan inheritance. But the enslavement path is very tough. Firstly, food was a huge burden. The larger the size of your beast or worm group, the more food you needed. Secondly, to recruit strong worm or beasts, it is not easy. One can easily suffer a backlash, turning into an idiot. Thirdly, enslavement path Goo Masters overly rely on their beasts or worms. Their bodies are weak, and they are easily to deal with when alone. Fang Yuan analyzed in his mind. The different styles of Goo Masters all had their strengths and weaknesses, difficulties and advantages. The world was changing. The world was transforming. In the current Goo world, Chi path was non-existent. Strength path was declining, only left with a trace of its former glory. Enslavement path was extremely ordinary and was hard to rise up. Occasionally, some enslavement path experts rise up, but vanish like a shooting star, only brilliant for a moment. Enslavement path. Goo Masters have a huge requirement for resources. It is tiring on the mind and body. Even a middle-sized clan cannot afford to feed an enslavement path Goo Master. At most, large or super clans would choose to nurture a few enslavement path Goo Masters for war purposes. Within the demonic path, it is even harder for enslavement path Goo Masters to survive. Barely any even exists. That is why I did not choose this path. Fang Yuan calmed his spirit, focusing his mind. After a while, he felt his head clearing up as the dizziness faded. He opened his eyes, looking around. To his left, right, and front, there was a light shadow each. Earlier, the light shadows were a blur, but after 20 rounds, they became extremely clear. The left shadow was a group of chrysanthemum Akita dogs, around 200 of them. Some sprawled on the ground and rested, some were playing, while the rest were drinking milk from their mother. Fang Yuan concentrated his gaze, looking intensely. The beast kings of the chrysanthemum Akita dogs were different from others. The stronger they were, the smaller their bodies. Especially in a chaotic battlefield, the beast king mixes in with the dog groups and become hidden. It was a good way to protect itself. Where can the 100 beast king be? Fang Yuan looked around, and suddenly the light shadow changed, showing a goo. This goo was fist-sized, shaped like a pebble, dark brown in color. Its surface was smooth, like it had a layer of oil. Dog guts goo. Fang Yuan recognized this goo at the first second. Appearing after the beast group, that means that if I choose this group of chrysanthemum Akita dogs and attain victory, I will get a dog guts goo. A while later, this light shadow vanished. Fang Yuan did not make his decision, but looked at the middle one. The light shadow in front of him was showing a blackish dog group. These dogs were barking at each other, charging and crashing together. It showed the ferocity and violent nature of this type of dog. This was the steel armor dog. There was a leather armor on this type of dog. The leather armor was dark and heavy. Like steel, it had strong defenses. In the process of growing up, the dogs would knock into one another to reduce the intense itchiness of their bodies growing bigger. The 100 Beast King of the Steel Armor dog had the same size as the big lightning symbol dog. It was very noticeable among the dog groups. Fang Yuan found it almost immediately. Immediately after, the light shadow flashed and a goo appeared. This goo, Fang Yuan was familiar with it. He had used it earlier. Rank 2 Dog Enslavement Goo. If I choose the Steel Armor dog group and win, I get a dog enslavement goo, Fang Yuan muttered, turning his gaze to the right. In the light shadow on the right, there was no dogs at all. Instead, it showed a mountainous scene with gray-white mountain rocks and cliffs, green trees swaying with the wind. After a while, this image vanished, not showing a goo like before. This is a chance to leave the King Quan inheritance. Fang Yuan knew in his heart. King Quan inheritance was created inside the Blessed Land. Goo masters who enter were restricted by the heavenly power, unable to enter or leave at will. But the Three Kings' inheritance was not a place without exits. There was a hope of survival in it. At every set interval, there would be a chance to retreat from the inheritance. Just like this time, if Fang Yuan chose the right side, when he leaves the fog, he would be transported out. He would appear at the mountainous area as shown in the light shadow, and this mountain waste was not far away. It was somewhere on San Cha Mountain. But Fang Yuan did not choose the right side. I have the resources on me to continue forward. It is too much of a pity if I leave now. Of course, there might not be a chance for me to leave later. This was also a formless test. Many Goo masters, although they had strength, in order to stay safe, they decided to give up and leave the inheritance, wasting such a good opportunity. Some Goo masters had no talent, but went forward recklessly, missing the opportunity to retreat. They die in regret. Fang Yuan had never lacked courage. He gave up this opportunity resolutely. To him, there was only 2 options. To the left, it is the chrysanthemum Akita dogs. This dog is most united, and the location of the Dog King is unknown. If I win, I get a dog guts goo. Dog guts goo is a rank 2 supplementary goo of the enslavement path. It is used on dogs. Once activated, it allows the courage and morale of my dogs in a certain range to rise, sweeping away their fear and drawing out their complete battle strength. Fang Yuan thought about his previous match. He was forced to use the lightning symbol dogs to attack the big lightning symbol dog. In the end, the lightning symbol dogs were fearful and battled in trepidation, having much less battle strength than normal. Fang Yuan had to waste his mental energy to force them to fight, causing his mind to feel exhausted. Beast Kings suppressed and generated fear in ordinary wild beasts. But if Fang Yuan had used the dog guts goo earlier, using it on the lightning symbol dogs, these lightning symbol dogs would feel extremely courageous, no longer fearful, and could execute brave attacks toward the big lightning symbol dog. Thus the dog guts goo, although not an attacking goo, it was the best supplementary goo. It targeted dogs, causing their courage to double or triple, raising their morale sky high. Dog guts goo is only rank 2. It can allow ordinary dogs to suppress their fear towards 100 Beast Kings. Above that would be the rank 3 Dog Guts above Mountain Goo, able to resist the fear towards 1,000 Beast King. At rank 4, it would be Dog Guts above Sea Goo, able to resist the aura of a myriad Beast King. If it can rise to rank 5, it would be the infamous Dog Guts above Heaven Goo. It can cause dogs to go into a frenzy, going crazy and attacking like a tsunami, even having the courage to overturn the Emperor of Dogs. Fang Yuan knew clearly, and even knew that in King Quan Inheritance, there were rank 1 to 5 Goo of the Dog Gut series. In his previous life, many people had obtained the rank 3 and 4 Dog Guts Goo, and there was even a lucky person who obtained the one and only rank 5 Dog Guts above Heaven Goo. If I want to conquer the King Quan Inheritance, the Dog Guts Goo is necessary. Fang Yuan had to admit he had always had a desire towards Dog Guts Goo. But his steps did not move to the left, but instead moved forward. He chose the Steel Armor Dog group. Although he wanted the Dog Guts Goo badly, he was not overwhelmed by greed. The Chrysanthemum Akita dogs were extremely united. They were extremely strong in group battles. It would be a tough battle. At the same time, the Dog King hid itself very well. Fang Yuan could not find it. It would be a huge threat. But the Steel Armor dogs were different. Their Dog King was very apparent, and in Fang Yuan's hands he had a special tool that was extremely effective against Steel Armor dogs. Fang Yuan walked out of the fog, and the Steel Armor dog group was vigilant, immediately having a reaction. As the 100 Beast King, Big Steel Armor Dog howled, causing the dogs to run and gather by its side. During the whole process, Fang Yuan observed silently. He did not attack like before, because last time he had a rank 2 dog enslavement Goo, but now he did not have it anymore. He needed to exterminate this group of dogs to pass this round and get a dog enslavement Goo as a reward.